Chapter 26. Now there was a famine in the land, in addition to the first famine that occurred in the days of Abraham, so that Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. Then Jehovah appeared to him and said, Do not go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land that I designate to you. Reside as a foreigner in this land, and I will continue with you and bless you, because to you and to your offspring I will give all these lands, and I will carry out the oath that I swore to your father Abraham. I will multiply your offspring like the stars of the heavens, and I will give to your offspring all these lands. And by means of your offspring, all nations of the earth will obtain a blessing for themselves, on account of the fact that Abraham listened to my voice and continued to keep my requirements, my commands, my statutes, and my laws. So Isaac continued to dwell in Gerar. When the men of the place kept asking about his wife, he would say,
She is my sister.
He was afraid to say, She is my wife, for he said, The men of the place might kill me because of Rebekah, for she was beautiful in appearance. After some time had passed, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, was looking out of the window, and he saw Isaac displaying affection for Rebekah his wife. At once Abimelech called Isaac and said,
She is actually your wife. Why did you say, She is my sister?
At this Isaac said to him,
I said it for fear I should die because of her.
But Abimelech continued,
What have you done to us? One of the people could easily have lain down with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us.
Then Abimelech commanded all the people, saying,
Anybody touching this man and his wife will surely be put to death.
And Isaac began to sow seed in that land, and in that year he reaped 100 times what he sowed, for Jehovah was blessing him. The man became wealthy, and he continued to prosper until he became very wealthy. He acquired flocks of sheep and herds of cattle and a large body of servants, and the Philistines began to envy him. So the Philistines took soil and stopped up all the wells that his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham. Abimelech then said to Isaac,
Move from our neighborhood, for you have grown far stronger than we are.
So Isaac moved from there and encamped in the valley of Gerar, and began dwelling there. And Isaac again dug the wells that had been dug in the days of his father Abraham, but that the Philistines had stopped up after Abraham's death, and he called them by the names that his father had given them. When the servants of Isaac were digging in the valley, they found a well of fresh water. And the shepherds of Gerar began quarreling with the shepherds of Isaac, saying,
The water is ours.
So he named the well Esek, because they had quarreled with him. And they started digging another well, and they began quarreling over it also. So he named it Sitnah. Later he moved away from there and dug another well, but they did not quarrel over it. So he named it Rehoboth, and said,
It is because now Jehovah has given us ample room, and has made us fruitful in the land.
Then he went up from there to Beersheba. That night Jehovah appeared to him and said, I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you, and I will bless you and multiply your offspring on account of Abraham my servant. So he built an altar there and called on the name of Jehovah. And Isaac pitched his tent there, and his servants dug a well there. Later Abimelech came to him from Gerar, with Ahazath, his personal adviser, and Phicol, the chief of his army. At this Isaac said to them,
Why have you come to me, seeing that you hated me, and sent me away from your neighborhood?
To this they said,
We have clearly seen that Jehovah has been with you. So we said, Let there please be an oath of obligation between us and you, and let us make a covenant with you, that you will do nothing bad to us, just as we have not harmed you, seeing that we have done only good to you, in that we sent you away in peace. You now are the blessed of Jehovah."
Then he made a feast for them, and they ate and drank. In the morning they got up early and swore an oath to each other. After that Isaac sent them away, and they went from him in peace. On that day the servants of Isaac came and reported to him about the well that they had dug, and they told him,
"We have found water."
So he named it Shibah. That is why the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took as wife Judith the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and also Basemath the daughter of Elon the Hittite. They were a source of great grief to Isaac and Rebekah. Chapter 27. Now when Isaac was old, and his eyes were too weak to see, he called Esau his older son to him, and said,
"My son."
He replied,
"Here I am."
and he went on to say,
"I have now grown old. I do not know the day of my death. So at this time take, please, your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt some wild game for me. Then make the kind of tasty dish that I am fond of, and bring it to me. Then I will eat it, so that I may bless you before I die."
However, Rebekah was listening while Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went out into the field to hunt game and to bring it in. And Rebekah said to Jacob her son,
"I just heard your father speaking to your brother Esau, saying, 'Bring me some game and make me a tasty dish. Then let me eat so that I may bless you before Jehovah before my death.' And now, my son, listen carefully and do what I am instructing you. Go, please, to the herd and get me 2 of the best young goats from there, so that I may prepare from them a tasty dish for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, in order that he may bless you before his death."
Jacob said to his mother Rebekah,
But Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and my skin is smooth. What if my father feels me? Then I will certainly appear to be mocking him, and I will bring upon myself a curse rather than a blessing."
At this, his mother said to him,
"Upon me be the curse meant for you, my son. Just do as I say and go. Get them for me."
So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made a tasty dish, just the way his father liked it. After that, Rebekah took her older son Esau's finest garments, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also put the skins of the young goats on his hands and on the hairless part of his neck. Then she handed the tasty dish and the bread that she had made to her son Jacob. So he went in to his father and said,
"My father."
To which he said,
"Here I am. Who are you, my son?"
Jacob said to his father,
"I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Sit up, please, and eat some of my game, so that you may bless me."
At that, Isaac said to his son,
"How were you so quick in finding it, my son?"
He replied,
"Because Jehovah your God brought it to me."
Then Isaac said to Jacob,
"Come near, please, that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not."
So Jacob came near to his father Isaac, and he felt him, after which he said,
"The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau."
He did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy, like the hands of his brother Esau. So he blessed him. After that he asked,
"Are you really my son Esau?"
To which he replied,
"I am."
Then he said,
"Bring me some of the wild game for me to eat, my son. Then I will bless you."
With that he brought it to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Then Isaac his father said to him,
"Come near, please, and kiss me, my son."
So he came near and kissed him, and he could smell the scent of his garments. Then he blessed him and said,
"See, the scent of my son is like the scent of the field that Jehovah has blessed. May the true God give you the dews of the heavens, and the fertile soils of the earth, and an abundance of grain and new wine. Let peoples serve you, and let nations bow low to you. Be master over your brothers, and let the sons of your mother bow low to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you."
Now Isaac had just finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had barely left the presence of his father Isaac when his brother Esau came back from his hunting. He too prepared a tasty dish and brought it to his father. And he said to his father,
Let my father get up and eat some of his son's game, in order that you may bless me.
At this his father Isaac said to him,
"Who are you?"
To which he said,
I am your son, your firstborn, Esau.
And Isaac began to tremble violently. So he said,
"Who was it, then, who hunted for game and brought it to me? I already ate it before you arrived, and I blessed him, and he will surely be blessed."
On hearing his father's words, Esau began to cry out in an extremely loud and bitter manner, and to say to his father,
Bless me. Yes, me too, my father.
But he said,
"Your brother came deceitfully, so that he might get the blessing meant for you."
At this he said,
Is he not rightly named Jacob, that he might supplant me these 2 times? My birthright he has already taken, and now he has taken my blessing.
Then he added,
Have you not reserved a blessing for me?
But Isaac answered Esau,
"Here I have appointed him master over you, and I have given him all his brothers as servants, and I have bestowed grain and new wine for his support. What is left that I can do for you, my son?"
Esau said to his father,
Is there just one blessing that you have, my father? Bless me. Yes, me too, my father.
With that Esau cried loudly and burst into tears. So his father Isaac answered him,
"See, away from the fertile soils of the earth your dwelling will be, and away from the dew of the heavens above. And by your sword you will live, and you will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will indeed break his yoke off your neck."
However, Esau harbored animosity against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. And Esau kept saying in his heart,
The days of mourning for my father are getting closer. After that, I am going to kill Jacob, my brother.
When the words of her older son Esau were told to Rebekah, she at once sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him,
Look, your brother Esau is planning to take revenge by killing you. Now, my son, do as I say. Get up and run away to my brother Laban at Haran. Dwell with him for a while until your brother's rage calms down, until your brother's anger toward you subsides, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send for you from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day?
After that, Rebekah kept saying to Isaac,
I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob ever takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these daughters of the land, what good is my life?
Chapter 28. So Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him, saying,
"You must not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Go away to Paddan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and from there take for yourself a wife from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. God Almighty will bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you, and you will certainly become a congregation of peoples. And he will give to you the blessing of Abraham, to you and to your offspring with you, so that you may take possession of the land where you have been living as a foreigner, which God has given to Abraham."
So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he departed for Paddan Aram, to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and had sent him away to Paddan Aram, to take a wife from there, and that when he blessed him, he commanded him, "Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan," and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and departed for Paddan Aram. Esau then realized that the daughters of Canaan were displeasing to his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael, and took his wife Mahalath, the daughter of Abraham's son Ishmael, the sister of Nebaioth, in addition to the other wives he already had. Jacob departed from Beersheba, and kept going toward Haran. In time he came to a place, and prepared to spend the night there, because the sun had set. So he took one of the stones of that place, and set it to rest his head on, and lay down there. Then he had a dream, and look, there was a stairway set on the earth, and its top reached up to the heavens, and there were God's angels ascending and descending on it. And look, there was Jehovah stationed above it. And he said, "I am Jehovah, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you are lying, to you I am going to give it, and to your offspring. And your offspring will certainly become like the dust particles of the earth, and you will spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And by means of you, and by means of your offspring, all the families of the ground will certainly be blessed. I am with you, and I will safeguard you wherever you go, and I will return you to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you." Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said,
"Truly, Jehovah is in this place, and I did not know it."
And he grew fearful and added,
"How awe-inspiring this place is! This can only be the house of God, and this is the gate of the heavens."
So Jacob got up early in the morning, and took the stone on which he had rested his head, and set it up as a pillar, and poured oil on top of it. So he named that place Bethel, but previously the city's name was Luz. Jacob then made a vow, saying,
"If God will continue with me, and will protect me on my journey, and will give me bread to eat and garments to wear, and I return in peace to the house of my father, then Jehovah will certainly have proved to be my God. And this stone that I have set up as a pillar will become a house of God, and without fail I will give you 1/10 of everything you give to me."
Chapter 29. After that Jacob resumed his journey, and traveled on to the land of the people of the east. Now he saw a well in the field, and 3 droves of sheep lying down next to it, because they usually watered the droves from that well. There was a large stone over the mouth of the well. When all the droves had been gathered there, they rolled away the stone from the mouth of the well, and they watered the flocks, after which they returned the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. So Jacob said to them,
"My brothers, what place are you from?"
To which they said,
"We are from Haran."
He said to them,
"Do you know Laban, the grandson of Nahor?"
To which they said,
"We know him."
At this he said to them,
"Is he well?"
They replied,
"He is well, and here is his daughter Rachel, coming with the sheep."
Then he said,
It is still the middle of the day. It is not the time for gathering the herds. Water the sheep, and then go feed them."
To this they said,
We are not allowed to do so until all the droves are gathered and they roll the stone away from the mouth of the well. Then we water the sheep.
While he was yet speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. When Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, Jacob immediately approached and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well, and watered the sheep of Laban his mother's brother. Then Jacob kissed Rachel, and raised his voice and burst into tears. And Jacob began to tell Rachel that he was the relative of her father, and that he was the son of Rebekah. And she ran off and told her father. As soon as Laban heard the report about Jacob, the son of his sister, he ran to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him, and brought him into his house. And he began to tell Laban all these things. Laban said to him,
"You are indeed my bone and my flesh."
So he stayed with him a full month. Laban then said to Jacob,
"Just because you are my relative, should you serve me for nothing? Tell me, what are your wages to be?"
Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger Rachel. But the eyes of Leah had no luster, whereas Rachel had become a very attractive and beautiful woman. Jacob had fallen in love with Rachel, so he said,
"I am willing to serve you 7 years for your younger daughter Rachel."
To this Laban said,
"It is better for me to give her to you than to give her to another man. Keep dwelling with me."
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, but in his eyes they were like just a few days because of his love for her. Then Jacob said to Laban,
"Give over my wife, because my days are up, and let me have relations with her."
With that, Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast. But during the evening he resorted to taking his daughter Leah and bringing her to him, that he might have relations with her. Laban also gave his female servant Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a servant. In the morning Jacob saw that it was Leah. So he said to Laban,
"What have you done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why have you tricked me?"
To this Laban said,
"It is not our custom here to give the younger woman before the firstborn. Celebrate the week of this woman. After that, you will also be given this other woman in exchange for serving me 7 more years.
Jacob did so, and celebrated the week of this woman, after which he gave him his daughter Rachel as a wife. Besides, Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her servant. Then Jacob had relations also with Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served him for another 7 years. When Jehovah saw that Leah was unloved, he then enabled her to become pregnant, but Rachel was barren. So Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and named him Reuben, for she said,
"It is because Jehovah has looked upon my affliction, for now my husband will begin to love me."
And she again became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and then said,
"It is because Jehovah has listened, in that I was unloved, so he gave me this one also."
Then she named him Simeon. And she became pregnant yet again, and gave birth to a son, and then said,
"Now this time my husband will join himself to me, because I have borne him 3 sons."
Therefore he was named Levi. And she became pregnant once more, and gave birth to a son, and then said,
"This time I will praise Jehovah."
She therefore named him Judah. After that, she stopped giving birth. Chapter 30. When Rachel saw that she had borne no children to Jacob, she became jealous of her sister, and began to say to Jacob,
"Give me children, or else I will die."
At this Jacob's anger flared up against Rachel, and he said,
Am I in the place of God, who has prevented you from having children?
So she said,
"Here is my slave girl Bilhah. Have relations with her, in order that she may bear children for me, and that through her I too may have children."
With that, she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife, and Jacob had relations with her. Bilhah became pregnant, and in time bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said,
"God has acted as my judge, and has also listened to my voice, so that he gave me a son."
That is why she named him Dan. Bilhah, Rachel's servant, became pregnant once more, and in time bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said,
"With strenuous wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister. I have also come off the winner."
So she named him Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. And Leah's servant Zilpah bore a son to Jacob. Then Leah said,
"With good fortune."
So she named him Gad. After that, Zilpah, Leah's servant, bore a second son to Jacob. Then Leah said,
"With my happiness, for the daughters will certainly pronounce me happy."
So she named him Asher. Now Reuben was walking in the days of the wheat harvest, and he found mandrakes in the field. So he brought them to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah,
"Give me, please, some of your son's mandrakes."
At this she said to her,
"Is it a small matter that you took my husband? Would you now take my son's mandrakes also?"
So Rachel said,
"Very well. He will lie down with you tonight in exchange for your son's mandrakes."
When Jacob was coming from the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said,
"It is with me you are going to have relations, because I have hired you outright with my son's mandrakes."
So he lay down with her that night. And God heard and answered Leah, and she became pregnant, and in time bore to Jacob a fifth son. Then Leah said,
"God has given me my wages, because I have given my servant to my husband."
So she named him Issachar. And Leah became pregnant once more, and in time bore a sixth son to Jacob. Then Leah said,
"God has endowed me, yes, me, with a good endowment. At last, my husband will tolerate me, for I have borne him 6 sons."
So she named him Zebulun. Afterward she bore a daughter, and named her Dinah. Finally, God remembered Rachel, and God heard and answered her by enabling her to become pregnant. And she became pregnant, and gave birth to a son. Then she said,
"God has taken away my reproach."
So she named him Joseph, saying,
"Jehovah is adding another son to me."
After Rachel had given birth to Joseph, Jacob immediately said to Laban,
"Send me away, so that I may go to my place and to my land. Give over my wives and my children, for whom I have served with you, that I may go, for you well know how I have served you."
Then Laban said to him,
"If I have found favor in your eyes, I have understood by the omens that Jehovah is blessing me because of you."
And he added,
"Stipulate your wages to me, and I will give them."
So Jacob said to him,
You know how I have served you, and how your herd has fared with me. You had little before my coming, but your herd has increased and multiplied, and Jehovah has blessed you since I arrived. So when will I do something for my own house?"
Then he said,
"What should I give you?"
And Jacob said,
You will give me nothing whatsoever. If you will do this one thing for me, I will resume shepherding your flock and guarding it. I will pass through your whole flock today. You set aside from there every sheep speckled and with color patches, and every dark brown sheep among the young rams, and any color-patched and speckled one among the she-goats. From now on, these must become my wages. And my righteousness must speak for me on a future day, when you come to look over my wages. Every one that is not speckled and color-patched among the she-goats, and dark brown among the young rams, will be considered stolen if it is with me.
To this Laban said,
That is fine. Let it be according to your word.
Then on that day he set aside the he-goats striped and color-patched, and all the she-goats speckled and color-patched, every one in which there was any white, and every one dark brown among the young rams, and gave them into the care of his sons. After that he set a distance of 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob was shepherding the flocks of Laban that remained over. Jacob then took freshly cut staffs of the storax, almond, and plane trees, and he peeled white spots in them by exposing the white wood of the staffs. Then he placed the staffs that he had peeled in front of the flock, in the gutters, in the drinking troughs, where the flocks would come to drink, that they might get into heat in front of them when they came to drink. So the flocks would get into heat in front of the staffs, and the flocks would produce striped, speckled, and color-patched offspring. Then Jacob separated the young rams, and turned the flocks to face the striped ones and all the dark brown ones among the flocks of Laban. Then he separated his own flocks, and did not mix them with Laban's flocks. And whenever the robust animals would get into heat, Jacob would place the staffs in the gutters before the eyes of the flocks, that they might get into heat by the staffs. But when the animals were weak, he would not place the staffs there. So the weak ones always came to be Laban's, but the robust ones became Jacob's. And the man grew very prosperous, and he acquired great flocks, and male and female servants, and camels, and donkeys.